You can call me Mystic Mike because I predict these things.
Valter Walker takes on Don'Tale Mayes this Saturday on the undercard of UFC Fight Night, Rodrigues versus Cannonier. And who knows in this fight, honestly. Both these guys, I don't think either of them are very good, honestly. Valter Walker, younger brother of Johnny Walker, which is funny because they look similar but completely opposite styles. Johnny Walker, super athletic striker, throws everything in but the kitchen sink at you, flying knees, everything. Valter Walker looks like he's never been in a striking class before. He's a grappler, if you want to call him that. Shoots kind of awkward takedowns. We haven't really seen him tested. He doesn't have the best record. Just heel hook Junior Taffa. Like, who's not beating Junior Taffa at this point in their career? Barely got him down. Got a heel hook on Junior Taffa, who, you know, probably never done a jiu-jitsu class in his life. So before that, fought Lucas Bursky. Lucas Bursky's fought 6 times in the UFC, and his only win is over Valter Walker, if that tells you anything about Valter Walker. The UFC's heavyweight division is so weak right now that if you're the only win by Lucas Bursky, I mean, what does that say about you and your career? He's losing to Kennedy Nzechukwu, Mick Parkin, Waldo Costa Ortez, Carl Williams, Martin Boudet. Like, none of these guys are elite. Mick Parkin, maybe. Kennedy Nzechukwu, maybe. But some of these other guys, like, I don't know. It's it doesn't give me a lot of faith in Valter Walker, I'll put it that way. We go past that. Alex Nicholson, 15-9. He beats a 20-13, 6-3, 1-1, 7-2, 3-3. He's just kind of fighting a lot of nobodies on the regional scene, and I feel like the heavyweight division is so shallow and just full of fat, unathletic guys. Like, I'm just not impressed by these guys and their records. Speaking of unimpressed, Don'Tale Mayes, 11-7. Fantastic record. Coming off of a loss to Shamil Gaziev. Just kept getting taken down by Gaziev. Couldn't get up. He just tipped the fat guy over. He couldn't get back up. Before that, Cal Machado. I don't rate that win. Cal Machado, just a fat, undisciplined fighter fighting at heavyweight. Now he's at light heavyweight because he's kind of taking his career seriously. But he could drop to middleweight if he really wanted to make a run. Rodrigo Nascimento, lost to him before that. His one win in the last 4 years is against Andrei Arlovsky, who's like 57,000 years old. Knocked him out in the second round. Lost to Augusto Sakai. Lost to Hamdi Abdul Wahab, who got overturned because he tested for steroids. Shocker. Beats Josh Parisian. Beats Roque Martinez. Just no real solid wins on his record, in my opinion. Both of these guys are very tall. I think they're both 6'6". Yeah, both 6'6", 78.5-inch reach for Valter Walker, 81-inch reach for Don'Tale Mayes. Don'Tale Mayes, he does train out of a good gym. Jackson Wink does train with John Jones. You would never think that, by the way, that he can't stop any takedowns. Was taken down by Gaziev the entire fight. Never really shown a very good ability to take or to defend takedowns. You think he would, being 6'6", you think he'd be able to post and just kind of stay on his feet, but he can't. He's just kind of what's the word I'm looking for? Uncoordinated. That's the word I'm looking for. He just kind of throws looping punches, not a lot of power behind him. There's just not a lot of good things I can say about him. Sorry. Lackluster career in the UFC. I am going to go with Valter Walker, though. It pains me to say that. Valter Walker, I think he's going to be spamming takedowns, and he's going to get enough to get a decision or do enough to get the sub on Don'Tale Mayes. Valter Walker does have, a decent amount of submissions on his record, but a lot of them are by ground and pound. And so I do think that he could get Don'Tale Mayes down to the ground and beat him up there en route to a ground and pound finish or a decision win. He's not the best striker in the world. He does throw heavy kicks, but he just kind of throw strikes just to open up his takedowns and look to work from there. So kind of the exact opposite of his brother, but didn't look good against Bursky. Looked okay against Junior Tafa, but again, I don't rate Junior Tafa or his brother in the UFC. So there's just not a lot to go off of for Valter Walker in the UFC. Hasn't really faced anybody to test him yet. Well, I guess you could say Bursky tested him and beat him, but I don't rate Bursky, so it's kind of like, where do we go from here with this guy? But who knows? Maybe he can string together a few wins, and with his grappling heavy attack, do something in the UFC. But I highly doubt it. I don't think either of these guys really have a lot of potential in the heavyweight division, which is crazy because it's very shallow. But I do think Valter Walker, he'll have enough grit and good enough takedowns in wrestling to get Don'Tale Mayes down enough to either get the finish or get the decision win. But very low confidence pick on this one. I almost went with Don'Tale Mayes just because of how bad Valter Walker looked against Lucas Bursky. But I just feel like Don'Tale Mayes isn't going to have anything for him on the feet. I just feel like he doesn't pose much of a striking threat against anybody in that division, even though he's 6'6" and a big dude. He just doesn't really seem to be able to put it together. So I'm going to go with Valter Walker in this instance because when it's an evens fight and I'm not sure, I've got a bias towards a guy who's going to be shooting takedowns and he's going to be looking to control the fight, because it doesn't seem like either of these guys are really going to be doing much on the feet. So I'm going to go with Valter Walker to win this fight by the skin of his teeth. Thanks, guys.